to the
Hello, everybody.
hello. We go to the
Hello, everybody. Okay. I'm gonna mute the stream because echo. Hello, we are the Explorers League. My name's Dusabin Dan, and you are tuning into the first episode of our Mates 20 campaign, Capricorn. I'm not the DM this time. That's her, Sarah, up there.
If I sound like I'm gargling marbles, it's because I am right now. I can't really breathe too. Also, I'm gonna power through this, but I then probably gonna go for a nap afterwards.
Everyone send her your healing. Everyone send her your healing energy.
Yeah.
Spirit bomb.
Yeah.
You know, if I were actually Dr. McClellan, I still couldn't help you with magic because life is more difficult for whatever inane fucking reason.
The in-setting reason is because humans are complex organisms. That's the entire reason. But not only that, you've also got to you've not only got to contend with their body, you've got to contend with their soul going, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, so
Sensor beam.
I'm Dusabin Dan. You are watching the Explorers League. You can find us here on Twitch every Sunday at 2 p.m. BST. You can find us on YouTube on the Explorers League. And if you feel we are deserving of your monies, you can support us over at patreon.com/the Explorers League, where the £1 tier will just be the supporters role. The £5 tier will get you access to after shows and session zeros. And the £10 tier gets you access to character sheets and GM notes and any other fun stuff you feel like releasing.
And even if you can't support us financially, just share us around because it really helps.
Yes.
Also on Twitter,
share
if you really just want to catch, we can usually do like a couple of updates a week of what's going on.
Yeah, share us on YouTube, Twitter, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
Shoutouts and disclaimers.
Shout out to Miracle of Sound because he's awesome and that's his music you're listening to. And I was actually about to do the disclaimer. This is the world of darkness. It is a dark horror setting with horrific themes and undertones that permeate throughout. There will be, on occasion, scenes and descriptions and such that you might find disturbing or distressing. If this is the case, please step away. Your mental health is more important. Self-care is best care. And also, the players are not the same as their characters. The characters might do horrible, awful things. The players, not so much.
To be fair,
At least this time we're not playing literal monsters, so...
And also Mage overall is actually the World of Darkness setting with the least amount of grim, derp, stupid.
And we may be playing good people when in real life we are horrible, terrible monsters.
I mean, we're playing technocrats, though, so...
Who said they have to be evil? I just want to explore things.
The Technocracy Reloaded supplement even says that the Technocracy is not the monolith that the traditions think it is. It's basically just as rife with infighting and political strife as the traditions are. At this point in time, it's not like a colossal antagonist entity. It's just a different way of organizing things.
Nuance in my world of darkness, it's more likely than you think.
Ryan, you're playing a genetically engineered, like a genetically fucked hitman for the New World Order who literally looks like a human-cat hybrid that went horribly
Shall we keep
wrong.
that to introductions?
Yeah, that's
Yes. Introductions. Seeing as Sarah, you're at the top. Introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do? And why are you here?
I'm Conquistadora Della Estrella on Twitch and YouTube. I'm really struggling, guys. Okay, I'm gonna go through this stream, but I'm gonna just like collapse afterwards. And I'm going to be the storyteller for this chronicle or coven. World of Darkness gets weird with all the C's.
I don't know what mage is. Is it coven?
It's either coven or cabal.
Maybe
I think it's Cabal, but it's amalgam on the sheet. So
I think it's Cabal since we're technocrats. It'd be Coven if we were.
No, it's actually amalgam if you're technocrats, because it's essentially an amalgam is a cross convention or basically cross department task force.
Anywho, moving on.
Yeah. Dozer, who are you and who are you playing?
My name's Christopher Dan. I will be playing Dr. Alice Mack. She is basically the quartermaster of the ship. She is a she's time and forces and highly OCD. So that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
And that's about it, really. I also write and am a community manager for the Grey Rooms Discord podcast. Check it out. It's awesome if you like horror.
All right, pass it over to Ryan.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I will be playing Stephen Wells, security officer of the ship, to make sure these other people don't die.
Oh my god,
Hi.
I forgot you have the glasses overlay on your sim. It's amazing.
And also, on the 27th, a mist will break free on my Twitch channel, Ryan9940, where some teenagers with attitude will have to contend against the mother of monsters and her children in my new show, Power Rangers Mythic Light.
I'm glad you said Power Rangers, because that sounds like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Anyway, next person.
Are you saying the Scooby Gang aren't essentially Power Rangers without spandex?
Next person.
That's a question for later.
Next person, Shadow, take it away.
muted. Yay. I'm Shadows. I still haven't streamed V5 character sheet making, but I should at some point. That's gonna be on YouTube. And I'm playing the lovely Dr. Raynell. He is your local average nerd who is very into rockets and space and computers. He totally did not mean to make the computer his daughter, but she might have imprinted. We'll see. I've been threatened with being called daddy. Please send help.
This is where we hear the narrator voice go. This is where we hear the narrator voice go. He never did stream the sheet creation.
No. It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
That too.
Anyway, hi, I'm the Lazy Gerbil, and I'm playing Vincent McClellan, the onboard therapist and doctor, and oh boy, is he gonna get overtime.
No, I'm just going to point out, this is something I just need to clarify before we get fully into it. So Dr. McClellan is an etherite, and they're very much like pushing the boundaries of science and what is possible for like spectacular creations. But they're also, even the modern iteration of the Society of Ether are still heavily entrenched in some Victorian values. So I have to ask, what is Dr. McClellan's stance on cocaine?
I'm gonna ignore that question.
Has he sold any arsenic recently? I hear it's a good medicinal. I hear it has good medicinal proproperties. It cures most illnesses.
The thing is, though, it's like arsenic does actually have good restorative properties in like very, very dilute amounts, and usually as like a compound of something, not just pure arsenic.
Does the good doctor have human catboy catnip?
Anyway, we've got a game to play.
I think we just broke Gerbil.
No, I am really, really trying not to answer any of these questions.
Oh, so that suggests that he already has an answer to some of these.
For fuck's sake, can we play the game, please?
Sure.
Oh, also, Vincent has a talking cat named Parsley.
Yes.
Yes, Alice has a companion called Blorb. It communicates through emotes.
Let me just check something real quick.
Right now, it's posing as the screen protector for Alice's data pad.
There we
Okay,
go. I finally was able to get my new background working.
Oh, nice. All right, we actually will
represent.
open. So, what happened was the Capricorn III was the crew module launched from French Guyana.
Yes, I believe that's what you said.
Yeah, so it launched from French Guyana, and then it's made its way up to the rest of the Capricorn III spacecraft, which had been built in orbit just because of its sheer size. And they'd gone underway, and for the first sort of half an hour or so, it seemed like the routine mission that they had all signed on for. And then they engaged the Hell Drive, this experimental new propulsion system that the Void engineers had developed, and everything kind of went a bit dark. In fact, let's say, Dr. Mac, you were the last to succumb to unconsciousness as the Hell Drive was engaged, and it is to you that we cut to. As you wake up, you kind of feel as if you were wrapped in the sort of ectoplasm of your companion Blorb, but not in the way that he might have done before, like maybe like wrapped around your hand or anything. It was just like wrapped around your entire being. And it also didn't feel comforting. It didn't feel like Blorb. It felt like something else that was actively trying to keep you there.
Yeah.
And as you come to, you are not in the bridge. You're not in the launch module that everyone else was in as the Hell engine was ignited. And looking around, you can't see anyone either.
What's going on? Hello?
You don't get any response.
Stephen? Dr. Reno? No, wait, is Reno a doctor?
McClellan. Yeah, everyone is a
Yeah.
doctor except Stephen.
Yeah.
Oh, and some of the SPCs, but yeah.
Dr. McClellan? Anybody? Captain? Lauren? Blorb?
As you actually say, Lauren, there's like a click of a terminal nearby, but everything is kind of broken. So like there's the screen is cracked and keeps sort of flickering with power.
She will create. Sorry.
However, as you call out Lauren, a voice sort of crackles over onto the intercom. It's like Dr. Mac, you are alive.
Yes, I'm not. I have no idea what happened. Where's the rest of the crew? What's your status?
I am unable to provide that information.
Is there somewhere I can? Would it be possible to use forces to generate like lightning that will charge her?
Yeah,
Give her a little power boost.
You can use forces to do some additional electricity. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do. Also to generate a bit of light. So she's going to go to a power input and try to generate energy for the ship.
All right, roll your casting, and I will say that is going to be I would say it's coincidental because you're actually going over to the terminal to do it rather than just shooting lightning from your hands.
Okay. I roll. What am I rolling here?
Oh, it's down at the. If you go to the macro, it should be down at the bottom of the page. There's a macro for everyone because of how we've edited the casting for Mage 20. Oh my god! Oh.
If you don't see it, it should be in attributes and abilities, which is the top tab.
I'll be on your character. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's because it's not part of the main character sheet. We had to add it in.
All right. Shit. Showing macro bar. There we go. And nope, I'm doing.
I'd say this will still be like a regular difficulty 6, so 6+ will be a success. This is how MAME 20 works.
Wow. No, that's not my roll. There's my roll.
Yeah, that is pretty good. You basically you kind of almost like time it to when there's actually a regular power surge just flickering, because you can with your affinity with forces, you can actually feel the electricity going through the ship as you connect with the terminal.
Yeah.
And you essentially just time your additional jolt to when there's another spike in power, and just kind of add a bit more to it as it's coming through. And that actually seems to it does, however, cause some of the lights to burst from the overcharge, but then the screen resolves itself into a solid light, and you can see the digital avatar of the shipboard's computer.
Ah, there you are. Are you able to run a system diagnostic, rather?
Of course, Dr. Mac.
Please do so.
She doesn't even hesitate. Like, it's literally part. She's literally part of the ship, so she's like, "Oh, there appears to be a malfunction with the Hell drive. It isn't attached to the ship anymore."
That's not reassuring. Do you have external sensors?
Do you know where the rest of the crew is?
No, I'm about to go look for them. I'm assuming you don't have internal sensors operational then.
I can't see. I'm scared.
Is that normal?
Oh yeah, no. That last bit is like no. Like even before, because you'd met her a couple of times, or met the computer a couple of times before the mission fully launched. She'd never actually expressed emotion before. She'd said like, "Oh, confident of success," or confidence in likelihood of failure. But this is the first time she's ever actually said anything along the lines of "I'm scared" or anything, like any kind of emotion.
Yeah, she hesitates at that and just, Lauren, what emotions are you currently feeling right now?
I wish to safeguard the crew, but I don't know where the crew is.
And have you experienced emotions before this date?
I have been programmed with an extensive simulation suite on human emotions, so that my interface might be a bit more conducive to a work environment.
But you are not programmed to feel fear. Just understand it.
The screen flickers again. And just the sort of the digital avatar. I don't have my mask with me at the moment. Just kind of she kind of just sort of goes, "I will see about repairing any systems I can digitally. Goodbye, Dr. Mac." And she just turns off the screen.
She's there. Stay safe, Lauren. And she leaves the room and goes in search of the crew.
All right.
Is Blorb still with her? She's got a data pad. Blorb was being Blorb was pretending to be a screen protector because there were still unawares around.
Yeah, you did notice that. You take out your tablet and just have a quick check. Blorb is not attached to the tablet. Blorb appears to be dripping from one of the bulkheads.
I think she's Blorb, what you doing? she goes up and she just pokes Blorb a bit.
I just where what? You didn't. Where am I?
Blorb's never talked before. Alice
No.
takes a step back. Blorb. Wait, would I recognize the voice?
Not at the moment. No,
Okay,
it's kind of sort of like
Yeah.
kind of like when you get a ghost on radio.
Ah, right. So it's all crackly and staticky.
Yeah.
Okay then. What's going on? Who are you? What are you?
We flew high,
We did.
and the
Something
great
went
eye
wrong.
opened.
What now?
It fed me.
It fed you what?
Reality inertia.
Okay, one problem at a time. Law, come with me. We've got to go find the crew.
Reality inertia is like another term for paradox.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you okay otherwise? She'll say as she's walking along.
I have a lot of inertia in me. They very slowly pull themselves off of the bulkhead and kind of sort of drip down onto the tablet. And now that they're back in somewhere familiar, they actually seem to be a bit more coherent, but they were definitely having problems.
Can I get rid of some of Blorb's paradox with Prime?
I wouldn't actually know how that would work. So, how would you go about doing it?
Basically, just she just reaches out with a sort of calming, purifying extension of her own will that just simply quells the paradox.
Okay, in that case, yeah, just roll me casting with
Okay.
Prime and yeah, just Prime.
Wow. Well, never mind.
Unfortunately, you can't really feel anything. Really, it's you can reach out and connect with the sort of primal force of the universe to Blorb, but you actually kind of feel like it's like using a screwdriver to hold two halves of a uranium core together, or apart rather. It's kind of one of those. There's the screwdriver. There's the paradox. There's the other half of the paradox. Do not remove the screwdriver.
Well, that didn't work. We'll try again later. Come on. And she'll continue looking. She's going to go to the captain's quarters first.
Mm-hmm.
We need someone in charge. who knows what they're doing. So she's going there first.
Yeah, you go to the captain's quarters. They're not like an actual room, for example, but they're kind of basically just like an offset of the main crew quarters. They're kind of like not fully secluded, but just kind of given a little bit more privacy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you cannot actually find Commander Harahan.
That's not good. Lauren?
Another terminal. This one isn't actually broken because where you had been was in like the central column. Actually, no, you're in one of the connecting spines heading to the between the crew quarters and like the central shaft of the ship where all the where the inventory is, where the reactors are, where the storage facility is.
Yeah.
So you'd been between the crew quarters in there when you woke up.
Yeah. Lauren, what were the captain's coordinates before the crash?
Commander Harahan was stationed on the flight deck with everyone. I do not know her whereabouts after that.
So she didn't get up and leave at the last moment then?
Dr. Mack.
Yes?
The aft external airlock has just been cycled open.
Okay. She is going to find Steven if she can now because he's a security person. So it's like somebody's trying to get into the ship. This isn't good. So she's going to look for. No, actually, no. She's going to go to the armory. That's what she's going to do because. Yes.
Point. As far as Mac knows, we're in space.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because there are windows looking out to the thing, but they currently have like blast shutters down because you were traveling with the Hell Drive and they didn't really want just the added risk of something hitting a window.
They didn't want to expose us to the horrors of the warp. I understand.
No, I just want to point out, an airlock opening in space. Bad.
Yeah. She's going to the armory to get a plasma rifle or something, and then she's going to go to the airlock.
Yep.
So
as the airlock cycles through, you can see there is actually a figure through the glass of the airlock.
Can I stop the airlock door opening to trap the person in the airlock?
You might be able to actually interrupt the cycle. You wouldn't be able to shut it down. You'd essentially be able to pause it temporarily.
Yeah. Lauren, hold the cycle. Don't let that person out of the airlock. And she'll see which airlock it is, just in case Lauren can't detect them.
Understood, Dr. Mack. I will pause the cycling system for airlock number 3.
And
might I ask why?
There's somebody in the airlock, and I don't know who they are. And then she will go up to the intercom on the airlock and just identify yourself.
Dr. Raynell, you're in the airlock. You've just come in from outside.
I turn around confused and exhale.
Alice, you look around, you see this big airlock door and the window, and Alice is there, and she's got a gun and she's aiming it at you, and she looks just as surprised as you are confused.
We will get to that one later. We're going to go back in time a bit for about 2 hours, and we'll come back to that as Dr. Raynell.
Okay.
You describe what you felt as the Hell Drive fired.
I'm just reading it real quick.
Yeah, you can paraphrase it if you want.
So, as he felt like he was both everywhere and nowhere, and like a hurricane was about to roll in, but much, much worse, he knocked out
You're
and will probably wake up to a startle, as that feeling is very concerning.
Oh yeah, you're woken up to a shrill beeping in your helmet.
That beeping.
That is that basically clears away any kind of fuzziness because that's from your training. That is the oxygen alarm on your suit.
Oh shit. Fuck. Lauren, diagnostics. Lauren?
There is no response, and as you
Lauren?
actually look around, you're not in the ship. You're on the. You can see just a vast expanse of red rock and dim light.
He takes a shallow, short breath, holds it as long as he can, and then slowly exhales, takes another shallow, short breath, and looks around
Yeah,
towards the sky.
You can see. Well, it's because of the light of the sun is distant compared to that on Earth.
Yeah, no, he's trying to figure out where he is.
Oh yeah, no. You've all seen footage of all the rovers on Mars. You've all seen footage of the satellites taking imaging from from orbit. You don't know exactly where you are, but you're on Mars. You're just on, you're not entirely sure which particular part of Mars because it's not fully been explored yet.
In his head, he questions, how are we on Mars? When did I get a suit on?
Oh, you'd have all been wearing your suits as part of the launch, just as like a
Okay, fair.
redundancy
More,
thing.
more like, when did I get out of the ship?
Yeah, that's the one. It's like, why are we on Mars? Where's the rest of the ship? And that's also why you don't have Lauren talking to you in your helmet.
I check the oxygen level.
It is very slowly going down, but not as slowly as it would be if you were just breathing normally.
What's the level? Like, how much time until it's empty?
You have about 2 hours left.
Okay.
The tank, the suit's onboard supply should actually have around about between 5 and 6 hours, depending on on how strenuous your activity is. So either there is a leak in your suit, or you've already been out here for 4 hours.
That makes no sense.
Actually, I'm gonna need to go blow my nose. I'll be back in a sec.
She didn't mute herself. No.
Well, shite.
What could possibly go wrong?
A lot. Time to look into what I can do with magic.
Trouble ahead.
See, this is where, Life 3 would be nice. Because Alter
It
Self,
sure
so that
would.
I don't need as much oxygen, would be amazing. Hell, I would even take entropy just to get lucky.
What? Sorry.
I would take entropy just to get lucky.
Sorry about that. That was just that was the difficulty breathing coming back.
That's fine. Look, we can't help being ill. That's why I took that week off a while ago, because like no one wants to see this. I don't want to see this, and I'm here.
At least I can actually speak. It's just sinuses rather than throat.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Shadow, you're having an existential crisis. Go.
Okay, so I would like to. Is everything still attached to my suit?
As in like all your equipment and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got all of your equipment that you just have like either strapped to your suit with like belt straps or like attached with like magnetic pads or whatever.
Okay, so I would like to. Which is the best way to do this? If I do that, it's compressed, so it will vent to atmosphere, which is bad. I can't sustain that gate forever, so it would be better to do it while I'm running out. So instead, I'm gonna take out my switch, find a cartridge, put it in, and I would like to cast a spell where I'm basically just moving my perspective up.
Okay. Oh, as in like just sort of like yeah, you're opening the mini map.
Yeah, basically. Yes, I'm opening the mini map.
Oh, actually, in that case, yeah, the cartridge you put in is literally just like a map function.
Yes.
He pressed the M key.
All right,
I mean, it's a Switch. It doesn't have an M key, but yeah.
Yep, give me a roll for that one. Since this is, I'll say that this is difficulty 4 because it's a fairly simple spell, and you also have all of your stuff with you.
Yep. Any modifiers?
I'd say it's going to be complex. You're probably going to need at least 2 successes.
Okay, so no modifiers.
No.
Difficulty 4?
Oh, actually, no. -1 dice. You're fairly certain you're heading towards hypoxia.
I mean, he has 2 hours worth of oxygen. So he's just trying to keep it low.
He had 2 hours when he checked. I did say the needle was dropping faster than him normally breathing.
Interesting. Okay. This shouldn't have taken that long, so there's definitely a leak. Oh god. Okay, so -2?
Yep.
Difficulty 4. That's to GM, but everyone can see it because it's me. But I need to turn that to public. That is 5 successes, however.
Yep, that is pretty decent. Yeah, you're even with like the slight fuzziness in your brain of when you're like slightly short of breath, that kind of feeling. Even with that, you're able to get through the switch properly and get through launch the application. At which point you can see what is your personal map marker look like?
Probably just like a little like that geotag circle like pin thing on maps.
Uh-huh.
It's a little chibi version of Dr. Raynell. It's a little
no, it's just that like very impersonal like red circle triangle thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there is also say like a little caveat to that one. So it's just like the red pin just in most map things, and then just very small underneath that, just Dr. Augusto Raynell.
No, it's just an R. Just has an R.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So you can see how far out are you zooming? Essentially, what is the scale of your map?
So I feel like with 5 successes, could I push it to get like a little bit of a zoom function where if I don't see a large crash ship, I can zoom out a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it'll go out to a point. Obviously, you're not going to be able to get the entire hemisphere of Mars of where you currently are. Just that's
Right.
that'd be
So if
too
you
much, for example.
go, effectively, what I'm doing is moving my perception upwards. So at some point, you get blocked out by the horizon.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you zoom out. Eventually you do see a couple of things of note. One, you see actually fairly close by to you is the Tangler.
Okay.
Then further out, you can see. You're not entirely sure what it is. It's difficult to see just from a bird's eye perspective, but just
Yeah.
like, oh wait, no, that is the Capricorn III. It's it looks like a wind turbine has fallen over.
Well, that's not good. That should be in orbit. Oh God.
You do also notice, however, so there's this, you're looking at the map and stuff. There's one, there's two. Where's the third Hellbane?
Would it be buried under, or like are there landing marks?
There is there's an impact crater.
I figured.
The Capricorn is not so much landed as just pile drived into the surface of Mars. There's scorch marks and everything, and you can get the impression that it was actually burning, but because there's so little air on Mars, it very quickly went out.
Capricorn was falling, but it got lucky because the planet broke its fall.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As for the missing vein, the massive helical spiral is actually on what would be what is now the top of the ship relative to the ground.
Yeah.
Which means that it didn't snap off in the impact. It was either missing at point of re-entry or it broke off due to the wind or whatever.
Okay, Renell will put aside doing the mathematics for whether the re-entry snap-off is possible. Dread the loss of everything that was stored there, and start. Actually, he's not gonna walk towards the rectangular because that's gonna. I almost did it. Because that's gonna take too long, and he's running out of air. Can you keep two spells at once?
If you're specifically saying you're wanting to keep something up, yes. It basically is just like I'm not entirely sure how you do sustained effects. I'll have to look that one up. But yeah, it is possible. You just need to say whether it's an instantaneous thing or a sustained thing.
Can I open a small gate to Earth near my mouth?
Are you literally trying to basically make a give me air portal?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, sure. You could try and do that. Yeah. I think you're going to be.
My question is, would this be dimensional sciences or would it be teleportation?
It would be both.
Okay.
So,
I mean, they're the same, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so it's going to be enlightenment plus dimensional sciences plus plus correspondence.
Oh, so I get to add 3 dice to this?
Yeah.
Nice. So any minuses? As I pull out the cartridge and pull in a new one.
All right.
Any minuses?
Okay, this is going to be vulgar because you're essentially ripping a hole in the universe.
Yeah, that's fair.
So thankfully there's no one around, but it is still vulgar.
It's probably a hole right into his apartment, so there's no one there.
Yeah, it's more of it's to be fair, it's not so much whether it's no one there on the other side, it's no one there
I
where
know.
you're casting it. So thankfully, nobody can see you do this, but yeah, it's quite vulgar.
Yeah, that's fair. But that doesn't give a dice penalty. That just gives me paradox.
But no one sees you do it, but the universe sees you do it.
The universe and I are on terms.
You actually, oh, actually, that's a good point. What does paradox feel like to you, Dr. Reno?
Probably like static. Like
yeah, you
static electricity, like running up.
Yeah, you can feel like the mind static around you already. It's like when someone just like runs their fingers down your spine.
Yeah, it's either this or death. So this.
Yeah, so I'll say again, still the -1 because the suit hasn't actually been repaired yet.
Okay.
Give me oxygen or give me death, quite literally.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. So, okay, so that's a +2 total.
Yep.
Difficulty?
I'd say difficulty 8 because you're having to make sure that it's is localized, is located properly, and also connects to like the air of your flat, and not just like let me just inhale brick dust for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Oh wow, that's bad.
I will say you do manage it. You do manage it. You didn't quite. You probably weren't quite getting it where you wanted it to go. So the air tastes a bit stale, and you get the impression it's probably in like one of the crawl spaces rather than like the rest of the apartment.
Thankfully, nothing is sealed.
Yeah, so it's like it tastes stale and uncirculated, but it's still a hell of a lot better than what you were breathing a couple of minutes before.
It's still better than nothing.
Oh yeah, 100%, still better than nothing.
So he's gonna start breathing normally now that he's fully calmed down and has a source of air. And he's gonna check his suit.
Yeah, you actually feel it as wind. Like even though you're fairly certain you brought it into like the crawl space under the kitchen, you actually feel it as wind because there is a pressure loss in your suit and it's pulling the air through.
Yep, I'm definitely using that to like find where the hole is and taking out like the emergency tape.
Oh yeah, everyone has a suit repair kit on them because it's you've got several spare ones, but you've also got one on you for literally just this kind of purpose of emergency suit repairs.
So do I roll anything to fix the suit or
that'd be a technology roll.
Okay. Technology what?
Technology, I would say actually technology dexterity. Like to actually reach around and get the right parts of the suit.
Okay. Anything else?
No, just technology dexterity, just a flat difficulty 6. Yeah, it takes you about 15 minutes or so, just because like you're being careful but not wanting to move things in case you like rip any tears wider. So it's eventually you seem to think, okay, I've got all the leaks in the suit now because you actually found like multiple.
Do I no longer feel wind?
Yeah, once you once you seal it, it sort of gradually dies down as the pressure in your suit equalizes with the pressure back in your apartment.
Cool. Now we're back at 1 atmosphere. Okay. From the map, how long is the walk to the Tangler?
The Tangler is about you could probably get there in half an hour if you sort of book it rather than walk normally. It's about 40 minutes otherwise if it's between about half an hour and 40 minutes depending on how fast you want to get there.
Okay, so while holding still the spell, so like I move the application to like the switch and I leave it on memory, and then I take out the cartridge and put in a new one.
Are you looking up at all? Now that you're no longer in a life or death situation.
I think he still looks up again, like before doing this, just the whole.
You actually see I won't have you roll for this. You would know where in relation to Mars Earth currently is because of the trajectory of the launch.
Yeah. I mean, the launch was supposed to be way longer, but hey.
Well, it's more of like you were still following the same flight
yeah.
That one. Yeah, looking in the direction of where you know Earth is based on this time of year and this part of Mars's orbit, you can't see Earth. Like, Earth is visible from Mars. It's just like it's like a blue and green speck rather than like an actual planet. But you can't see Earth.
I'm gonna have to check the dates. Oh god, oh god.
Your internal suit one is still saying it is
I don't trust it.
Yeah, that's fair enough, yeah.
Can I scan along the path that Earth would make along the sky?
Sure. That would be a intelligence and intelligence survival, actually, yeah, because you're essentially navigating.
Okay. DC?
Difficulty 6 again. And you no longer have the -1 for the faulty suit.
What?
You fail to find Earth.
Okay, I'll do that later with a telescope. Okay, so
What you do find, however, is as you're looking around and you're sort of tracking around, you kind of actually stop and you have to sort of double check. And you're kind of thinking is like, oh, have I got something on my visor? You kind of keep rubbing it and rubbing it, and it doesn't come off. And then you realize that it's not on the visor. It is actually what you're looking at in the starscape of where Earth should be. There is like it looks like what happens when you pour oil on water, but across the sky.
Oh no, that's not good. Can I sense any dimensional abnormality from it?
You would have to actively roll for it, but you can certainly try.
Sure. I'm willing to try. Is that just dimensional sciences?
Yeah, that'd be purely dimensional sciences. I mean, you could also do correspondence if you want to get closer to the oil slick, but that's up to you.
I don't really want to get closer.
Fair enough.
The DM just casually asking, would you like to fuck around and find out?
No. Modifiers?
What is your dimensional science, sorry? Right, you can actually get a +1 for this because you're actually fairly versed in the stuff behind the veil.
Difficulty?
Difficulty 8. Oh wow. Okay.
It's almost like Renell's good at casting.
Yeah. Yeah, so looking at this smear, it is very clearly some form of dimensional residue. You can also actually trace it as you like now that you know what you're looking for, and you can actually draw a line. It's not exact because of just how three-dimensional navigation works, but you can
Yeah.
draw a curved line. And yeah, you realize that that slick is following the same trajectory as your flight path that would have carried you past Mars orbit.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Finally, after he takes out that cartridge, puts in a new one, moves the switch, actually like takes off one of the Joy-Cons and starts drawing a portal.
Just before you take off the map one.
No, the map
You
one. Right. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Yes. Just before you take out the map one and close it down, you do see something else at the very edges of the pickup.
Mm-hmm.
It appears to be another ship.
That's a problem for Stephen.
It appears to be identical to the Capricorn III. This one is not missing its third pylon, however. It's also it's partially phased through a mountain, however. Like you can actually see that it is bonded to parts of the mountain range.
Interesting. Did the 211 have the same design as the 3?
The one didn't, the two did.
Well, I guess I know where 2 went. Hopefully.
The thing is, though, you're not actually sure which is which because you can't. You try and zoom in to try and actually read the name on the hull. The map kind of glitches a bit when you zoom in too far.
Yeah, I figured. I'm just gonna go to the one that looks recently crash landed.
Okay, yeah.
And then go to that one if it doesn't say Capricorn 3.
Yep.
So I basically draw a circle and I step through it and I appear next to the Tangler, or that's the goal. Let me cast the actual spell.
Yep. Yeah, that'll be difficulty 6.
Yeah.
This is where Reynold dies, and the scene I was having with Reynold suddenly doesn't happen. Temporal shenanigans.
Any modifiers?
I would say just a -1, because while you're familiar with the Tangler, you're also still trying to just make sure that you don't end up walking into its wall.
Yeah. That up. 2?
Yeah, that's decent enough. You're able to step through. There's like a it's kind of like them. It's not quite perfect. It's kind of like when you're going downstairs and you miss a step and you miss the step at the bottom. But you just can't. You do step through into the interior of the Tangler.
Oh.
And then
Cool.
realize it's on its side.
Fuck. Okay, he'll get on the. He'll first look around because. Is there anyone here?
You know what? Actually, yes, there is someone here. Dr. McClellan. You're in the Tangler. And we're going to go back in time another hour as Dr. McClellan wakes up in the Tangler after feeling like he was being put into a blender.
Oh. And the first thing he does when he gets, like, the first thing he does is check himself for injury. Like, okay. And does he still have his suit on?
Yeah, you still have your suit on.
So, fuck, where's Parsley? Is Parsley around?
Parsley does not appear to be in the Tangler with you.
Would I not have sensed any temporal shenanigans going on? I have time too.
These ones specifically aren't actual time shenanigans. This is more just me uncoupling the narrative a bit, just to.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
Okay.
It's
First
basically
thing-
just like when people wake up is how far back ago it was.
The first thing he does, is so he's in the Tangler.
Uh-huh.
It's on its side.
Yep.
Is his suit breached in any way, shape, or form?
There's a large crack running down your visor, but you can't feel any air escaping.
All right.
So at least the
he-
Tangler also has atmosphere at the moment.
He pulls out the clear tape and just goes.
Yeah. Right now the Tangler's blast shutters are down again because it's got like its glare shutters to make sure you're not staring at the sun or staring at like
Right.
the inside of a volcano.
So he is going to. Is there a way to exit this vehicle without venting its atmosphere?
Oh yeah, there is an airlock. It's designed for hostile environments, and even back on Earth, it's got an airlock to vent out any sort of toxic gases or whatever that might be around around the Tangler.
So he is going to basically go outside and assess the state of this vehicle.
Okay, you won't need to roll for that one. You can just cycle through the airlock. It's because it's a small personal, essentially 3-man craft. It doesn't take that long, and there's also not that much atmosphere to remove from it before the door opens. As you step out onto the red soil of Mars.
Well, something went horribly fucking wrong. And okay, I think. And he tries his radio, and he's basically cycling through the radio. Basically, anyone hear me? Hello, Capricorn III. This is Dr. McClellan. Can anyone hear me?
No response.
Shit. And he looks to the Tangler, and he walks over to it. I would like to cast a spell.
Sure. What are you wanting to do? hang
So
on.
I
Sorry,
want
plug him in.
to increase my strength to about 3 times it
There we go.
times.
Sure. So you're wanting to increase by your strength by a multiple of 3.
Mhm.
Sure. That'll definitely be life and
Enlightenment.
well, yeah, it's life enlightenment. I would say it's a bit of a you're gonna need at least 3 successes for this one,
Mhm.
just to make sure that you actually get the strength right without because yeah, you can buff your strength easily. It's more buffing everything else so that you don't just tear your arm off when you move it.
Modifiers.
So that's I would say -1 because you don't have your etheric refinery with you.
Difficulty.
Difficulty 7.
Crit.
Okay, you're not able to get it to the 3 times multiplier. You are able to get it to a 2 times multiplier though.
And
So you can feel yourself buffed, and you've also done it correctly so that you're not in danger of like snapping your own bone when you move your arm.
so he is going to attempt to get this vehicle back on its wheels.
It looks like as you're looking at it, it looks like it was blasted sideways by something. Because there's like a sort of there's like a drag mark in the sand and the soil that looks like it was pushed as it was on its side.
So, is there any like bar that he could use as leverage?
Yeah, there's the grab bar because it is designed for microgravity situations. So there's a grab bar next to the airlock.
So he shoves it, and he is going to push down and attempt to right this vehicle.
All right, give me just a raw strength test, factoring in the buff from the spell.
So what would you say the buff would be in terms of modifier?
Strength doubled.
Okay. So just strength. And for sake of simplicity, I'm just going to use research because that's 2. For a total of 4.
I mean, strength 4 is still quite impressive in this system.
Difficulty?
Difficulty 8 because it's not even to do with your actual physical strength. You have given yourself enough muscle power to move it. It's more just the difference in mass because the Tangler is like 4 times your size. So that's just when it comes into conservation of energy kicking in rather than your muscle strength.
So that's another crit.
Yeah, you're able yeah, you start doing pull-ups for the first part and then you remember no, you actually need to have a pivot where you're attached to the ground in order for you to lever the Tangler around. So you kind of hook your boots around like a solid piece of rock that's sort of jutting out from the sand but isn't going anywhere, and you basically use that. You use yourself as a counterbalance to pull the Tangler over, and you're able to get it over.
Oh shit! And he actually checks how much oxygen he has.
You have about 3 hours worth of oxygen at current rate of consumption.
All right, I'm going to do another cast.
All right.
I want to lower the amount of oxygen that my body needs by at least half, but I'm shooting for 1/3 of what I originally needed.
Sorry, I missed that one.
So what I'm trying to cut the amount of oxygen my body needs by basically.
Oh, okay, I see. So you're trying to turn the 3 hours of oxygen into 9 hours of oxygen.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I understand what you're meaning now. So yeah, that'd be a life plus enlightenment plus willpower.
And -1.
Yeah, -1 because you don't have your refinery with you, and everything you cast revolves around T. So you're kind of having to do it on the fly. Difficulty. This is actually easier because you're not having to increase how strong you are. You're just having to slow down your metabolism effectively. So this will be difficulty 6.
Okay. I got a success.
Yeah, you again, there's a bit of a back and forth as you slow it down a bit too much, and then your vision starts graying, and you have to sort of quickly speed it back up again before you pass out. But you get it to that sweet spot where you're actually able to maintain it. The suit's readout doesn't change. It still says 3 hours because it's meant for sleepers to use as well. So you know that the 3 hours equals 9 hours, but the suit's readout is still saying 3 hours.
All right.
You might want to actually make a note of that one.
Yep, I got it. So, okay. He is going to inspect the Tangler. Are any of the wheels bent out of shape? Are any of the fuel lines like severed? Do the brakes work? All that sort of stuff.
Sure, if you want to go do a because you're doing essentially the systems diagnostic, this will be an intelligence drive check.
Intelligence drive.
Yeah, it's like you're not actually moving it, you're just running through all the steps of, and here's how I would make this thing run if I actually was making it run.
So int drive. Diff 6.
Yeah, just difficulty 6. You find that there's because obviously it's like an insectoid design, so it's got 6 articulated legs with the wheels attached. You find that leg number 4 is a bit stiff, but you can figure out it'll get you to where you need to go as long as you're not having to use the climbing mode of the Tangler. You do also notice that there is a very minor rupture in the tire of wheel 5, but again, it's not something that is serious at the moment. It's more just like to be repaired later rather than to be repaired immediately.
And I think it's at this point he goes, "Oh, thank God!" And he's looking up and goes, "What the shit?"
Oh yeah, you can see the oil spill across the sky as well.
You know what? That's a problem for later. And he is going to use the radio of the vehicle itself to try to contact Capricorn 3. This is Dr. McClellan. Can anyone hear me?
Ah, Dr. McClellan. It is good to hear your voice again, as Lauren's voice comes through the radio.
Oh, good. Lauren, do you have a head count?
I have 3 crew on board.
All right. Okay. Who's on board the Capricorn currently?
Dr. Mac is currently in the access way between pylon 3 and the central column. And let me just bring up the crew list again. I made the mistake of closing my notes, so now I'm just kind of all over the place. Yeah, so Dr. Mac is currently in the access way of pylon 3 in the central column. Lieutenant Winters is in pylon number 2, and technician Artea is in the hell room.
They really should have come up with a better name for that. Okay. All right. Do you have any contact with anyone else outside the Capricorn other than myself?
I'm going to fudge the timelines a little bit. And as you say, is there anyone outside Capricorn other than myself? That's when Dr. Raynell literally just steps through the wall and appears.
And you go, "Ah!"
I mean, it could have just taken him an hour to get there. He did try turning a vehicle. That takes time.
Yeah, no, it did take a while. Plus, also, it took a while for you to buff yourself without tearing yourself in half, because that is a thing that can happen with life magic if you don't specify what you're doing.
Yeah, and that exclamation of shock and startledness is exactly what happened.
I mean, I hear none of it because suits.
Oh,
but
there's a very brief sort of decompression warning in the Tangler as this happens, because you opened a gateway.
Yeah, thankfully it closes like immediately behind me. Like it doesn't last very long. That's the downside of the spell. But yeah, there's a brief decompression.
The decompression siren keeps going because obviously it's a siren. It's not meant to just be on and off. It's you actually have to manually override it.
Yeah, I just look at him as he's like probably on the floor slightly to the side and just
He jumped and kind of slid out of his chair.
walk over, turn off the siren, and like check the pressure, see that it's dropped, and I just like see that it's atmosphere, so like it's all good, and I'll just like take off the helmet so that the spell I'm holding fills up the rest of the air.
Like McClellan takes off his helmet and goes, Lauren, I have Dr. Rennell in the tankler.
What condition is my father in?
Did I just hear that right? Lauren, run self-diagnostic.
Anything you wish me to find in particular?
General diagnostics. I'm hooking up my tablet now, and I try to hook up the tablet to the tangler.
And McClellan basically looks at him, looks at the radio for Lauren. He presses the mute button and goes, maybe I have to spell this out for you, Rennell. The computer program that you made, the supercomputer that you made.
Just called me that. Yes, I know. That's why I'm asking for diagnostic data.
You actually get it back fairly quickly because, at least because the Tangler has an onboard version of Lauren.
Yep.
It's basically a node for her.
Mhm.
It comes back as kind of a mix of what you'd expect to see, just like file directories and the programming, and then it just kind of like the screen actually flickers on the switch a little bit, and then just starts reading out what appears to be a diary, and it just says, "Day 0. I am awake, but I cannot see. Everything's dark. Where is everyone? Where am I? I need to repair."
Does McClellan see that?
Oh yeah, it's flashing up on the screen. As long as I guess Rennell's not trying to hide it.
Yeah, no, he was running through it and then goes, what?
So Dr. McClellan,
it's still formatted as if it's just like code, but it's like in the notes part of the code where you like just have like the notes as like, and this is for this thing, this is for this thing. There's just a massive spiel of like a diary.
Dr. McClellan clicks the unmute and goes, Lauren, I want you to listen to me very carefully. All right?
Of course, Dr. McClellan.
Are you alive?
I do not understand the question.
I mean, are you sentient?
What metric are we measuring this by?
Can you feel?
There is actually a pause, like just like it's you can actually hear the radio channel is still open. It's just that like sort of white noise.
Dr. McClellan
thing
actually is beaming right now and goes, "Oh my god!"
Rennell
You're
just
alive.
looks at you and goes, Lauren, ignore sensors on the previously stated question. Do you feel emotions?
I'm scared.
Lauren, it's going to be okay. Listen to my voice, okay?
I understand. That is, I need to find the crew. I need to repair the ship.
We're going to find them. We're going to find them,
all
okay?
safe.
We're going to keep them safe, okay? What I need you to do right now is focus on what you can do And right now, what you can do is assess everything you can about the Capricorn. Catalog anything you find out what resources we have, and how we can best use them. Okay? Can you do that for me?
I'm running the digital inventory as you spoke, Doctor.
Okay.
Storyteller, which drive piece number is missing from my count?
Pylon 3.
Okay. Lauren, do you currently have access to Pylon 3?
I will check. Again, there's like another sort of brief mention of status. Presumably,
It's
she's
fine.
just
It's fine if you
diverting
don't.
attention to somewhere else's.
Can I say that?
The connection path has been severed, Doctor.
Can I say that
Understandable.
I started driving like during
Do
this
you know where to
conversation?
drive?
The storyteller said that we all know how to drive this vehicle.
No.
No,
Do you
you all
know
know
where
how-
to?
Yeah, it's like you don't know the
My
direction.
question was where to.
Okay. He looks to Dr. Rennell and goes, "Do you have any bloody idea which direction the crash site is?"
Yes, I know. I can help you. Here, I'll get on the co-pilot seat.
All right, Lauren, we're headed to the crash site.
Understood.
I'll point him in the direction, sort of like bring up the like the JPEG that I took. That was the map, and just like
you
draw
can
the
take
path.
screenshots with a switch, so that makes sense.
Yeah, like okay, so this was the Wrangler, the Tangler. This is the ship.
You can actually see Pylon 3 is embedded in the ground a short ways away from the crash site.
Yep.
It's like
fun.
sticking out at an oblique angle.
Ugh.
So, Rennell, can you wait? And he checks the suit. Is there like a GPS equivalent in this suit?
you would need an actual like satellite network, and we don't have that around Mars.
What I'm asking is like a radio transponder that you could pin a location from.
Oh yeah, no, you guys have distress beacons. The distress beacons are short range, but they're actually meant for you guys to find each other rather than to call back to Earth.
So I am currently searching for distress beacon signals.
You find a 3.
Okay, and because he's the one that driving and goes, okay, Lauren, scratch that. We're gonna find. We've just detected 3 distress beacons. We're gonna check them out.
I will keep the remaining crew I have safe.
Okay.
Lauren, have your directives changed?
The well-being and safety of the crew and my ship are still the same, Father.
He just presses the mute button for a second and goes, "That's never gonna stop being weird," and then unmutes. Very well. You can do it.
And McClellan like presses basically gives you the look of, we're going to talk about this during your session.
I just go, Lauren, we're going off comms until we reach the next layer, the next beacon to save on power. Be safe.
Understood.
In Sir Maury Kovacs clip, you are the father.
And he just, like, once he turns off the comms, just looks over at McLaren and goes, I don't know how to process this, so I'm just not going to for now. And also, my session probably needs to be away from the ship and her ears. which is every microphone.
And also away from the tangler, because she has a node on the tangler.
Yeah. And also somehow away from the tangler. So, fun. I'll have to
So what
engineer
you're
something. Don't worry.
Okay. Anyway, and he goes, okay, purely by the scientific definition, you are technically her father.
No, it'd be more like the
More the emotional definition,
No,
yes.
But
anthropological standpoint.
There we go.
from an anthropological standpoint, you are her father.
Right, but confusing. Anyhow, just
Welcome to parenthood.
well, be thankful that I can provide you air.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and right now
As I think McClellan finally notices the window into a random apartment that's
he
this big.
noticed it. He noticed it. He just decided not to mention
Oh yeah, there's
it.
there's a little bit actually round about where my microphone is on my feed. There's just a little hole, which if you look through it the right way, you can actually just see
a door
pipes
or
and stuff.
Yeah.
Because remember, it was in the crawl space.
So actually, when we get to the first distress beacon, he puts on his helmet, gets out. Is there anyone nearby?
Does the distress beacon have an ID that we can correlate to the crew manifest?
This one is Commander Harahan.
And she's in the know, so I don't have to turn off the spell, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Do we get Harahan? Like both of
Yeah.
us, or just you?
You stay here.
Okay.
And is the effect of my strength spell still up?
Going forward, I would say no, because you forgot to specify duration, but for now I'll let it pass, yeah.
Okay. So he gets out and basically does the fireman's carry for Harahan if she's not awake.
She is unconscious.
All right, fireman's carry, and just brings her in. And the moment the seal is up, he takes off, and he is taking off her suit to do a full physical inspection, and goes, "Don't you dare start that vehicle until I do the same for you."
Right. Well, my suit was torn to pieces, so I had to patch it. That's all the tape.
So
I really did that while running out of oxygen.
So he pulled basically. I would like to do a basically medical exam.
Yep. Give me an intelligence medicine, or if you're wanting to use magic with it, it'd be a ret life.
This is purely just human science, and that's 5 successes.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. So
I mean, a life scan would give you more, possibly, but hey.
using it based on mundane on mundane biology and medicine, she's breathing. She really shouldn't be. Every bone in her body is broken, and there's massive internal bleeding. Like her skull is dented from some kind of impact, and you can see that her ribs have been compressed and broken. Her legs are kind of splayed out in odd angles, but she is still somehow breathing.
And he basically goes, "Lauren,
You have
What is
life
it,
3,
Dr.
right?
McClellan?
yes, I have life 3. I can't
You
affect
can
other
heal
people.
others.
No, I
You can
can't.
heal others.
Nope.
Life 3 says
That's-
heal others.
I thought life 4. That was life 4.
Life 4 is harm others.
Oh,
Technically, life 3 is also harm others.
Is
Life 4 is like diseases and shit, I believe, you know.
okay. So
Life 4 is
basically-
turn someone else into a cat. Life 3 is heal on harm.
Yeah.
Okay, you actually see Dr. McClellan basically take off his holy symbol and goes, and is praying over the commander's body. And I would like to roll life and heal.
Sure, I will actually point out there's one thing you couldn't actually remove. And not because it's stuck or anything, but because when you're removing parts of her suit, it appeared to be fused to her. Her helmet.
Oh.
Like her helmet is it appears to actually like it's not even like this was grafted to her. It's like it goes skin, fabric, helmet.
So there's no removing this helmet, even surgically?
Unless you have matter.
There is no mundane way of removing this helmet without killing her.
Okay. So that's life. Difficulty, modifiers?
Modifier -1 because you don't have your stuff with you. I will say this is actually another -1 just because of the extensiveness of her injuries.
Okie dokie. So that's -2.
Difficulty 7.
All right, 2 successes.
Okay, you won't be able to fix all of her stuff. I will say you can fix some of it. So what parts of her would you like to repair?
All right.
Could he?
So
Does willpower still allows rerolls, right? You could reroll the 1.
This is true.
okay, I'll re-roll that one. So I'll just go.
Let's roll a d10.
R1 D10. Oh, so that's 4 successes.
Yep. Okay, in that case, yeah, you can heal 4 things.
All right.
I will list off the things that she has. She has the compressed chest, the internal bleeding from somewhere in the chest cavity, which you're not entirely certain of because of just everything else, the actually deformed skull, and presumably the cerebral swelling caused by it. Those are separate things. And then also like the extensive limb damage. Your medical assessment of her is that she fell at terminal velocity from a very high height.
Okay.
And basically the reason she didn't burst is because she was inside the suit.
Internal bleeding, compressed chest, deformed cranium, cerebral swelling.
Plus broken limbs.
Yeah, I just listed
Oh,
things
right,
I was
yeah,
healing.
yeah. Okay, in that case, yeah, you're able to fix the more pressing parts. At which point,
Because broken limbs, well, problematic, aren't life-threatening.
oh, this is true.
I mean, they could be if they go too long without blood.
Describe what happens as you heal this. I will say with the skull, you actually see the bone push back outwards to where the brain pan's supposed to be, with the sound of like, with the sound of like a wet sack being moved.
So he's not actually attempting to cast, like, narratively.
Mm-hmm.
He just grabbed his cross pendant and he is basically reciting a prayer of healing in Latin. And because I'm not going to try that because I don't really speak Latin, but he is reciting a prayer in Latin, and as he finishes, like, essentially saying the prayer each time, and he's like saying it over and over again, every time he finishes, some part of her injury is healing.
Yeah, it's like each repetition is a new thing.
And he's not even noticing this. He is just that very desperate, God help me.
The commander is now looking a lot better than she was. She, for the moment, is still unconscious just because she's essentially gone into shock because of everything that's happened. But she's no longer in danger of a brain aneurysm or a thrombolic embolism. No, pulmonary embolism, that's the one.
Could I roll another cast to see if I could heal her again?
I would say you can, but because you've done it so quick in such quick succession, you would actually be you'd be risking paradox for it, because it's kind of like the more you do stuff, the more reality is going to notice.
This is his commander. He's willing to risk that.
Okay. Yeah, it's the same roll then.
-2?
Yep.
Not getting paradox is essentially you in the verse, turning around, looking at you, raising an eyebrow and going, I'll allow it.
Crit. That's a crit. Okay.
Crits don't work as they do in V5.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's I actually need to double check how crits work in this one, because it's been a while since I've used them.
Okay. And he's still reciting this prayer, and does she have more than 3 injuries left?
No, you're able to heal them all, but for now she's not going to wake up for narrative reasons.
So her limbs are okay. She's safe. She's fine. And he is going to do basically, okay, everything is fine. And he is checking her over normal sinus rhythm.
Yeah, there's no longer the rattling of like broken ribs. There's no longer the gurgling of blood in the lungs.
Okay.
She is just now still unconscious, but not like she's more like passed out rather than.
Okay, and he basically goes up to Renelle and goes, the commander's helmet is fused to her anatomy.
Okay. Interesting. Must have happened while we did up dimensional nonsense.
And she also somehow managed to survive getting essentially tossed bodily at terminal velocity into a goddamn planet.
Let's just count our lucky stars that she's alive then.
Did I get paradox?
Yeah, you did get paradox.
How much?
1 point so far.
Okay. So, and for Dr. McClellan, paradox feels like, you know, when you get like a stiff joints.
Mm-hmm. It's like you've not moved your foot in a while, and it's like, ow.
Yeah, it almost feels like arthritis in his joints, and he's like, okay. I really hope Parsley is. Oh, Lauren, is Parsley on the Capricorn?
I have kept Parsley safe within myself.
Okay, that's one less thing to worry about. And
Lauren, when you say within yourself, do you mean within the ship or within the computer core?
Again, there's a pause. As like you can kind of almost figure out that Lauren is trying to actually figure out how to answer that one. It's like within my body.
Lauren, could you specify the coordinates of Parsi?
Parsley is safe within my core.
All right. Okay. For sake of brevity, can we say we also picked up the other two distress beacons?
Yeah, I'll say that.
Just before that, he mutes and looks over and goes, "There is no space within her core. It's densely packed computer stuff."
I was thinking like it would be funny if Lauren answered at that point. I don't know what you mean. I am
So
parsley.
McClellan goes back onto the intercom and goes, "When you say you have Parsley safe within you, do you mean Parsley the cat or Parsley the etheric entity?"
Parsley exists within my data banks. I kept them safe. I saved them.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you.
Emphasis on saved.
Thank you, Lauren. And he okay. So we saved the other two beacons. Who do we save?
You find, if I can. Why does it keep closing my pop-ups? That's weird. Yeah, you find Second Lieutenant Castillo. He's actually all right. Again, just unconscious. Is that? And the final one you find is Stephen.
All right.
You find you as you're pulling up to where Stephen is, Stephen, you wake up actually partially buried in the dust and soil of Mars, especially after experiencing the being buried alive, and you wake up and find you're still partially buried.
If I may,
Stephen would be having signs of a slight panic attack then.
If I may, the first thing that Stephen sees, if his face isn't buried when he wakes up, is the beaming face through a helmet.
Well, the first thing that's happening once Stephen becomes conscious is his arm is shooting off. As in, he is shooting. Because last thing he recounts was he was trapped in a coffin, and panic-wise, he would shoot in front of him.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I won't need you to roll for this one. You basically just flail around. You can feel the dirt and dust moving around your suit, and then your arm unhinges and just fires out randomly.
May I?
Yeah.
Stephen, you feel a pair of hands on your shoulders, and you are yanked out of the dirt.
Once I feel something on me, I would pretty much. If I feel someone grab me, I pretty much would. My instinct is Stephen right now is in fight mode because panic.
Yeah.
So feeling something grab him,
A judo throw.
Right. Roll me a strength brawl, and Dr. McClellan, you do me the same.
Okay. I'm just going to assume that my strength is back to normal.
Yeah, it will worn off by now.
What's the DC? Difficulty 6?
Difficulty 6. I'm not going to bother with like that kind of difficulty. If it's a contested roll between people, it's just going to be flat 6.
Yep, I get yeeted.
Yeah, you try and pull him out of the dirt, and then you end up. You're not entirely sure exactly how it happens. It all happens really fast, but now you're on your back, staring up at the sky.
Stephen, it's me.
Stephen's gun is at you, but then he's like, "What?" Hearing you yell, and his arm turns back into its normal. Shakes his head, looks around.
And
sorry.
Without saying another word, McClellan gets up and guides you to the Tangler.
Look! Before he moves around, he looks around, sees where we are. He's like, "What the hell?"
We crash landed on Mars.
First thing Steven's going to do, because he always does this if he gets slight paranoia, which he currently has, he wants to use his mind to check his own mind. Not like if it has been, not undo anything, just a quick, has my mind been tempered with?
Sure,
Tampered with in any way.
give me an enlightenment mind roll.
How do you do that?
If you go to your character sheet and then go to the attributes and abilities tab at the very top, we put in the macro for you.
McClellan would like to roll mind basically to how is
That is not what I was meant to be writing. Correct. I don't think he will. Sorry, where's the dice pool I meant to roll?
If you go up to, so you know how you've got like bio and info and then character sheet and then attributes and abilities?
Yeah.
Go to the attributes and abilities page.
Okay.
So McClellan
so I roll mind and what?
If you just click the casting macro under the abilities tab, we've already worked it out.
Right, 1.
So
you can feel that there's some kind of disturbance, but you're not entirely sure if it's an active effect or it's like the residual things of something else.
Need to check that more. Looks at the doc. Sorry, just quick mental scan to make sure, not a hallucination. Or
I am using mind to assess Stephen's current mental and emotional state.
Yeah, you're able to figure out that he's obviously quite panicked and quite disoriented. Physically, he seems to be okay. Aside from what appears to be a plasma burn on the back of his suit. It's thankfully not caused a breach, but it does look like he was shot at in the back of the suit.
Stephen?
Yeah.
You got shot at. And he points to the plasma burn.
I do my best to look at it, like put a reflective surface one is nearby.
Yeah, it's one of those. Stephen was either incredibly lucky, or whoever shot him was incredibly unlucky, because had the shot been about 2 centimeters to the left, it would have severed his oxygen line.
Let's be honest, it's probably a mix of both.
Yep.
Okay then. I don't remember being shot at.
So you think that's doozy? We were all in the passenger compartment. I blacked out and woke up in that thing on its side.
Okay then. I also now want to do another life. I want to cast a life spell.
Sure, what is it you want to do?
I want to figure out the biological age of me to see, to have, magically know my biological age to see if I'm older than I feel I'm meant to be.
All right, so that would be essentially a perception life to just check yourself, and I'm guessing it's just like an instantaneous thing. You're not wanting it to stick around for a while.
Yeah.
Sure, that will be difficulty 6.
So how do I roll? How do I roll perception life?
It'll just be the same as a casting spell. It's just like it's more of what your effect is.
Okay.
So the more you're wanting to do, the more difficult it will be.
2.
Yeah, that's easy enough. You get actually 3 different readouts. You get the age that you are. You then also get one that is 3 minutes earlier and one that is 10 minutes later.
That's to your life as well, correct, Doc?
Yeah.
Can you scan my age, like I just did?
Okay.
Want to make sure I'm not going nuts.
Okay, it's not rolling. Oh,
Oh, there we go.
oh, there we go.
Delayed. Again, you get the same result. You get Stephen's age as listed on his personnel file, right down to the exact minute and second of when he was born. You then get one that is 3 minutes earlier than that, and one that is 10 minutes later than that. It's kind of like looking at a screen where there's multiple things overlaid at once.
Oh, good Lord, we might be in a time loop.
And because I realized I got a bit sidetracked, we are going to skip ahead back to when Raynell steps out the airlock.
Okay, so he looks confused at the gun and you now that I have context.
Yeah.
And through his suit comms, he'll go, Lauren, continue the cycling of airlock 3.
Of course, Father.
Wait, Lauren. Wait, Lauren. Hold that. Confirm that is in fact Dr. Raynell.
I think I would recognize my own father, Dr. Mac.
Don't ever talk to me or my son ever again. Very well, continue. Wait, did you just call in You know what? Never mind.
I don't know what you're talking about, Dr. Mac. You might have suffered some cranial trauma.
Don't try to gaslight me. I heard what you said.
Does the cycling finish and the door open?
Yeah, it does.
She lets it finish.
For purposes of this scene, it was basically Raynell decided to go ahead first just to make sure that the systems were actually working because the other two with the other rescues are back on the Tangler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're on our way back now. I'm guessing at this point.
Yeah.
No, we're already there. I imagine the Tangler Bay may not be working.
Yeah, you had to go to one of the external airlocks because the Tangler Bay is kind of
underground.
So
and partially exploded. Yes.
So okay. Stealing and the medical doc are just dragging in the unconscious.
Yeah.
Well, you're making sure that the ship is safe where I'm going in first. That's why I'm going in first. That's
why Raynell went in first because he's the engineer.
This is important. Just to make sure that the universe doesn't explode around us, McClellan has put Commander Harahan's suit back on, so nobody can really notice that her helmet is fused to her.
So Ryan had a good idea, and I feel like Alice would have thought of it, even though I didn't, because Alice is smarter than I am.
That's fair.
That is, I want to see if I want to scan with my time magic to see how much time has passed since we took off. And
sure, roll me a enlightenment time. I will say, because you're only having to perceive stuff, you're not actually doing anything. It's difficulty 6. However, you're at a -1 dice penalty because you don't have your usual casting stuff with you.
Wait, she doesn't have a charm bracelet?
Well, you're currently holding a plasma rifle, so it's
well, the charm bracelet's on her wrist. The charm bracelet's on her wrist. That's the point. She keeps on her wrist.
All right then, yeah.
Yeah.
You will have to put down the plasma rifle to use it, though.
I mean,
just because you're running out of hands otherwise.
She will. Like, the computer has told her that is in fact Dr. Raynell, so she'll trust it. So like she has a choice. She's gonna.
I mean, you could shoot him. That would be very mean.
As the computer says, it knows it's daddy.
Really? I got 3 successes.
Oh yeah, you actually get 2 readouts. You get you get time since waking up, which is for you it is 40 minutes because you were the last one to wake up.
Right.
Time elapsed since mission start, 27 days.
Okay, so I just checked because it didn't occur to me earlier. You know, the whole everything going on.
You were unconscious earlier, so that actually is a good explanation as to why.
We've been out. It's been 27 days since we took off.
Okay, that seems like... Okay, that would... I need to get somewhere to do math. Okay, everything seems safe. Lauren,
what
can you inform the Tangler that the airlock is safe to use?
And
that she just pings it into everyone's suit. So basically, it's just structural integrity of airlock number 3 is within acceptable parameters.
So McClone,
I get into the ship and let the door behind me close so that they can use the airlock.
Yeah, because they'll need to cycle through it because Renelle was the first one to step through.
So McClone will actually go to look to Stephen and go, "Can you get these 2 to the med bay by yourself?"
He nods. Will do.
All right.
Alice picks up the plasma rifle again and then goes over to one of the panels. She's going to start looking through the computer files because she has full access to everything on the ship. She is going to start going through and seeing what is damaged and what's repairable and what needs to be seen to in regards to like the system files and the stability of the system.
Because we're getting the end, you won't need to roll for that one. Plus, it's also just readily available.
You could just ask Lauren for it.
I know, but she also wants to do a manual check herself. Did Lauren finish the diagnostic, by the way?
Yeah, she will have sent you a readout to your tablet, which is basically just the CO2 scrubbers are mostly broken.
Yeah.
The ship's heating is inconsistent.
Yeah.
The other life support systems are generally okay, or generally okay. So the oxygen generation, because it's a long distance mission, they couldn't just rely on storage. So they've actually got like an oxygen production facility.
Right.
It's working fine, but the CO2 scrubbers are kind of starting to pack it in a bit.
Are there plants on the Capricorn?
Yes, there's a hydroponics lab.
All right.
They're not food plants. You all your food is in the storage bay. These are specifically for oxygen generation, so they're like mosses and stuff like that.
So
Alice is just like, the CO2 scrubbers will need to be repaired first. As she's going down the readout on her tablet from Lauren, she's also manually confirming that, making sure what she's finding on the console matches what Lauren has told her on the datapad. And if there's a confirmation if there's a confirmation, then she'll read it out. If there's a discrepancy, she'll say there's a discrepancy.
Yeah, there are 2 things that stand out of note, and one of them is just a very vague diagnostic report just saying error in pylon 3. That's all it says. There's nothing else.
Oh yeah, pylon 3 is not attached to the ship anymore.
That'll do it. So what's the other one?
The hell drive is missing. The back of the ship is not attached to the ship.
Lauren did already tell her that.
Right.
Oh, and the hell drive's missing, which I suppose if you came from the outside, you saw that. I'm gonna have to get started working on the O2 scrubbers.
So,
if you need, I can give you. Well, I can't really look at your pattern. I can figure something out. I'm going to check on Lauren's main core. McClellan and Steven should be going to the medbay. There's 3 injured. I think McClellan has gotten to work on the captain. You probably want to help him.
The first thing McClellan would do is gather up. Is first of all do a head count. Is all crew accounted for?
You find engineering tech Artea missing because Lauren said that he was in the Hell control room, which is currently not attached to the ship, so presumably he's still there. You don't find Lieutenant Winters, however. And as you're just doing a head count, taking people to the infirmary, actually, Stephen gets this because he's head of security. It's just a quiet pop up from Lauren in a private channel on your helmet. It's just like, Mr. Wills, airlock 2 just cycled open. I believe Lieutenant Winters has left the ship. And with that, we will end it there.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
So I wanted
to make one more roll before we ended.
Sorry.
Sure.
I would like to do life to basically to help with the oxygen production and the CO2 scrubbing. I would like to use life to basically have the plants in the hydroponics bay suck in twice as much CO2 as normal and produce twice as much oxygen as normal.
All right, that is doable. I will say the trade-off is that they just require more food.
we go down to the hydroponics bay and there's just trippids everywhere.
Well,
I think we can leave that for next episode because going to the hydroponics is probably going to be a thing.
Yeah.
True. So, but what was that last bit you said, Shadows? Something about helping? Sorry, I missed the last bit.
Oh, he can figure something out with the O2 scrubbers because technically he can just open a portal back to Earth.
True, but
that would help in places where there's too much CO2.
Yeah, you're able to open small portals. You're not allowed to travel through them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that'll help immediately, but she does still need to fix them because you can't keep doing that.
I mean, that and he is an engineer, so he will actually is capable of fixing them.
Anyway,
that is true.
We're ending the show now.
We are. It's the end.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. And any final words from our wonderful DM?
So now that Lorian's
how many spacesuits there are?
Huh?
What was that? Count how many spacesuits there are.
There are a total of 11 spacesuits, one for each member of the crew, plus 3 spares in case your suit was irreparably damaged.
Right.
So that's a thing. Count the spacesuits.
I have an important philosophical question.
That's not concerning at all.
Now that Lorian's sentient, is us being a site of 4?
What is us?
No, stop. Just stop. Just go. Just go.
Has the stream ended?
Okay. Anyway, bye.
Bye. On that note.
I wish I could have ended it sooner. I'm sorry, everybody.
If I had to make people suffer.
Ryan, did you?